positive, you have to keep faith, and you just got to keep going. I don't care if you don't know what you're doing, where you're going, but keep going, because the moment that you stop is the moment that you give up on yourself, and you give up on your dream.
So it's Yaz again, and I would first like to say thank you guys so much if you watched my last video. The feedback that I got was really sweet and it made my day. So I'm glad you guys liked it, and if this is your first time coming across my channel, I just want to say welcome, and I hope you guys like and subscribe and all that jazz. But if you did watch my first video, I said how I would have a sit down video talking about the ins and out of my orientation, my experience, and all that stuff. Well, I posted that video Friday of last week, and today was actually my first day of nursing school, and it's Monday, the 13th of November. So basically today it was like a part 2 orientation kind of deal. The same dean that spoke to us in our orientation was the same person who spoke to us today. She was like the main person. It was really only her. And then we had guest speakers who came in and spoke to us. Besides that, it was basically the same thing. Like, she kind of went over the syllabus, but she didn't go into detail because she isn't our professor and she's not going to be the one teaching the classes. So my official day starts tomorrow. So wish me luck, send prayers. When I first applied to the school, part of the admissions process was talking to financial aid, of course, like how are you gonna pay for the school, all that stuff, what's included, and all that jazz. So in the beginning of my orientation, they did have the financial aid women come in and speak to us again, and kind of just did an overall general talk about financial aid and steps that we needed to do and all that stuff, which is expected. I figured that you know, basically it was the same thing with me. So much it wasn't really that beneficial, simply because I spoke to them one-on-one already, and you know, my financial aid and stuff was already in the works and already basically done. So after we spoke to financial aid, we had a lot of other guest speakers. We had we were introduced to all the faculty and staff. They introduced themselves. A lot of the women and men who work in my nursing school, they were all nurses. Like, they went from LPN to RN to travel nursing. There was one lady that I really liked, and she went to I can't think of where she went, but she went somewhere far. I don't remember. I want to say Guatemala, but I don't know. But she was with the Peace Corps, is what I'm trying to say. So like, she did a lot. Like, they just had so many different stories and so many different paths that you can do with nursing, and it was just really motivational. Like, just them themselves was just super motivational for me. And now obviously they bridged over to a more educational standing point within nursing, so that was really nice. The whole time we kind of just sat there and like listened. It was a whole bunch of different speakers, like I just said, and
that's about it. Honestly.
Also, we spoke to the president of the school. That's not what they call her. I just can't think of the name, but basically she's like the president, and she was really nice. That's after we took our lunch break. They fed us pizza, really good, and she spoke to us, and we were in that room with her for 4 hours. Like, there was a woman who was sitting down beside me. Like, since we came in, she kept, like, you know, when they would be like, how are you doing? You guys still doing okay? You tired? Because it was early in the morning. We had to be there by 10. We had to be there at 10. And we were there until 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was a long day. So meanwhile, while it was probably like 12 in the afternoon, every speaker who was coming in to speak to us was asking us, like, are you guys still alive? Are you guys still awake? All that stuff. And this lady that was sitting down, a couple seats down from me, she would say, no. And then, like, you know, like, that's like one of those questions that they ask you, but they don't really want you to answer. So, like, everybody's like, yeah, we're doing okay, blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, no. And then she's like, she just looked really tired. Like, I can tell she was genuinely tired. So she has her monster drink. I want to say she drank 2, but I don't know. But she had an energy drink there, and she was sipping on it. The president came in. She's talking to us. She's going through this long PowerPoint. So, mind you, it did take up 4 hours. So it was pretty, you know, a lot of information. And this lady completely fell asleep, like knocked out, snoring. She's like leaning over, and I maybe I need to grow up or something, but like, it was so funny to me, and like, no one else was laughing, but I was literally like right beside her. It was me, a girl that was sitting beside me, and then she was right on the other side of her. And I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that she had her energy drink and she still like fell asleep. Like, she was tired and she was snoring, and it was awkward because like we were in the front row. Like, we're not in the back or nothing like that. We're literally in the front row. This is us and this is the president of the school. So I was like, in my head I was cracking up. Obviously I wasn't like laughing out loud, but it was funny and I couldn't help it. Like, we started filling out after she finished talking to us, you know, probably like 3 hours and 45 minutes later. She had us sign the rest of our paperwork, you know, locking us in with the school and saying that we agree with the terms and conditions and their policies and all that stuff. And she was still asleep. So she woke up, and then that was that. But basically, after we spoke to her, they reintroduced the deans, but this time it was the rest, like, because there's a couple of deans. We had the one dean who usually works with the bridge, like the LPN to RN students, who was kind of like the main person talking to us. But at the end, they brought in all four of the deans, the night deans and the day deans. So, you know, they just basically taught us about dress code, time, attendance, basically a whole lot of information. Like, the same information that we heard earlier was kind of just reiterated to us through the whole day. But like, overall, with my experience, I enjoyed it. It was times where I was kind of like, can we wrap this up, because I'm kind of tired. But overall, I really enjoyed it. There was a part, I mentioned this in my vlog if you guys watched it, but a woman came in, and it was actually one of the deans, and she told us her experience and all that stuff. And she said this quote that one of her professors said to her, and it was, "I can teach you how to put in an IV, but I can't teach you how to not be a S person." And like, I feel like that said a lot, and I feel like some people probably were like offended and stuff like that, because when that dean spoke to us specifically, she was basically telling us like, if this is for you or if it's not for you. She wasn't like directing it towards no one, but it was simply like, if you're just here for the money, if you're here for the pay, your heart's not in it, you're never going to be happy, and you're not going to be a good nurse. Like, you're not going to enjoy what you're doing, because this is a career. Like, when you get into something like this, generally, that's like this, because that's our career. This is what we intend to pursue for our lives. But you know, some people don't get that. But I really, really like that quote, and I feel like it does say a lot, because, you know, anybody can be textbook smart. Anybody can pick up a book and pass tests and go and pass the NCLEX. But it's those people who have sympathy, who do care for others, who genuinely want to help, who make great nurses. And I really, really like that part. And I feel like out of my orientation and today, I just found it really motivational. They actually had all the seniors, like they're, you know, called seniors, but people who are about to take their NCLEX and take their progression test to graduate from the school itself. They came in and spoke to us, and one girl was like crying. She was just like, it was so sincere, and you could tell the passion that she had and the passion that all of them had. And it was just really, really great to see people who were once in my shoes up there giving me tips and stuff like that. So after that, they basically left, and that was my orientation and my first day of nursing classes. Like, I don't know if I said this, but tomorrow is my first official day. I will start my first class, so please pray for me, because I am nervous. I'm so excited that I'm nervous. Like, I've always wanted this. Like, this is something that I've always wanted. There was times where I felt like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get there anytime soon. I felt super unmotivated, super discouraged. Like, I knew I was gonna keep pushing forward, but it's just that whole waiting game, and that whole like, come on, like, what's going on? Like, why aren't I on target? And like, that's my biggest thing. Like, if you know me, I'm a very organized person. Like, my life revolves around my calendars, my notebooks, all that jazz. So for me to have this plan, like coming out of high school, I had this plan. Oh, I'm gonna do this, and then this, and then this, and then this. But life doesn't work like that. You know, like, your path is already set out for you, and it's up to him if everything works out the way it does. Like, maybe he didn't want you to take this route. Maybe this route was for you. And I feel like I just had to let go and accept that what's for me is for me. And I know that nursing is something that I've always wanted to do. It's something that hits close to home with me. And I knew it was destined for me. So I just took a step back and I just did what I had to do so I could be in the position that I'm in now. And, you know, once I started just letting go and let God, look at me. I'm about to start nurse school. Well, I did start nurse school because today was my first day. So like I said, everything will work out. You just have to stay positive. You have to keep faith, and you just got to keep going. I don't care if you don't know what you're doing, where you're going, but keep going, because the moment that you stop is the moment that you give up on yourself and you give up on your dream, basically. Do it now. Like, if you can, and Lord's willing and your path is there for you, do it now. Get everything done, because the more that you work at it, the sooner and the quicker and the easier that it will come to you. Because if you sit and wait off, say if a year, you telling yourself you wait a year because you want to save up money before you start nursing school, and 2 weeks before you start, your car breaks down, and now you really don't have time to go to nursing school because you need to work even more because your car just broke down and you need money. But the thing is, there's never a right time. That there will always be something. And what my one of the deans kept saying throughout the whole orientation is, what possibly could go wrong during nursing school will. My mindset wasn't always like this either. Like, I knew I had to keep moving and kind of keep pushing forward, but it wasn't until I had someone to kind of check me. Luckily, it was my aunt, and, you know, not somebody on the streets or nothing, but she's just kind of like, what are you doing? Like, well, this just happened with your financial aid. What are you going to do? You know, there's alternate routes. There's this, but you know, you have to keep yourself busy, and you have to keep yourself your eye on the target, because if not, then you're just never going to reach your full potential. That's it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry if I didn't go into like too much detail. It's just that it was basically just going over policy and procedures, uniform, and all that jazz a whole bunch of times. So, you know, I tried giving a little insight, but it really wasn't much to the whole orientation thing. It's simply them just laying it out and you signing paperwork and going home. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you. I just want to thank you guys so much for clicking this video. It means a lot to me, and I've gotten a couple of responses, some people, because I do get girls, young girls, mainly young girls. Guys, you guys can message me too, but young girls who message me and they kind of look up to me, and I mean, I don't really understand it, but they do, and if I can help, I would. So I just decided to do this. I just want to say, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!